A very, very big hello to all my WAHEC, NECO, and JAM commerce candidates out there. Welcome back. Today, we're jumping into a topic that is absolutely huge, a real cornerstone of your syllabus. We are talking about production. So let me just ask you something. If you could bet on one topic showing up in your commerce exam, in the objectives or even as a full theory question, what would it be? You got it. It is production. Listen, the examiners love this topic, and that's actually great news for you because it's one of those topics that's pretty easy to score full marks on once you get the basics right. So, come on, let's get into it and master this thing in the next 5 minutes. Okay, first things first, we have to know the definition. What exactly is production? You can't answer any question properly without this. And listen, this definition is pulled straight from your syllabus, so it's the perfect foundation. It's simple, really. Production is the process of creating or manufacturing goods and services to satisfy human wants and needs. Just think about it for a second. Without production, we wouldn't have anything. No phones, no textbooks, no Indomie, nothing. It really is the starting point for all business and commercial activity. Now, you should know that production isn't just one single action. No, we actually classify it into 3 main types, and this is based on what stage of creating value we're at. Let's break them down one by one. We always start with primary production. This is all about getting the raw materials directly from nature, from the earth, from the sea. So picture a farmer in Benue State harvesting his cassava. That's primary production. Or think about an NNPC drilling for crude oil deep in the Niger Delta. That is the extractive stage. So what happens next? Well, we move to secondary production. This is where the real transformation happens. We take all those raw materials from the primary stage and we change them into finished goods or semi-finished goods. A perfect Nigerian example is Dangote turning limestone into cement. Or, the textile mills up in Kano turning raw cotton into those beautiful fabrics. And finally, we've got tertiary production. Now, this stage is a little different. It doesn't create a physical product. Instead, it provides all the essential services that help the first 2 stages to function properly. Think about GT Bank giving a loan to a factory owner, or think about Dangote trucks that actually transport the cement from the factory to the building sites. These are all the commercial and professional services that keep the wheels turning. And this visual just ties it all together beautifully. You can see it's a chain. It starts with primary production, which takes from the ground, then secondary production transforms it, and finally, tertiary production provides the services to help get it into your hands. It's a complete journey from the ground all the way to the consumer. Okay, so to make all this production happen, what do we actually need? What are the ingredients? Well, in commerce, we say there are 4 essential things, and we call them the factors of production. Let's take a closer look at exactly what they are. All right, I need you to pay close attention to this table. This is where guaranteed marks are hiding. These are the 4 factors, and you must know them like the back of your hand. Let's go through it. First, we have land. Now, in commerce, land means all natural resources, okay? And the reward for land is rent. Next is labor. This is the human effort, both physical and mental, like the factory workers at a Nestle plant. And their reward, wages and salaries. Then comes capital. This is all the man-made stuff that helps production. Machines, tools, even a loan from Zenith Bank. The reward for capital is interest. And last but definitely not least is the entrepreneur. This is the organizer, the risk taker who brings everything together. Someone like Aliko Dangote. And his reward is profit. Please memorize this table, especially that rewards column. Students mix them up all the time in exams. Now, while we're talking about labor, there's a related concept examiners are obsessed with: division of labor. It just means breaking down a big job into smaller, specialized tasks. On one hand, it's fantastic for efficiency. People get really good and super fast at their one little job. But there's always a flip side, right? Can you imagine doing the same tiny task over and over again all day long?
it can get incredibly boring. Plus, what if your one specialist calls in sick? The entire production line could just stop. So you see, it's a classic pros and cons situation that you need to be able to discuss. Alright, that's enough theory for now. The real test is whether you can apply this knowledge to an actual exam question. This is where you show the examiner, yes, I understand this topic. So let's take a look at a real question from a past paper. And here we have it. This is from the WAHEC Commerce paper back in 1989. The question says, which of the following convert raw materials into finished goods? And your options are A, extractive industry, B, manufacturing, C, commercial occupation, D, constructive industry, and E, tertiary industry. Okay, let's break this down like a top student would. The very first thing you do is find the key word in the question. And right there, it is converts. The question is asking what converts raw materials. So let's look at our options. Option A, extractive. No, that's primary production. It just pulls materials out of the ground. Option E, tertiary. No way, that's all about services, so that's out. Now look closely at B and D. Constructive industry builds things like roads and bridges, which is a type of secondary production. But manufacturing is the specific word we use for taking raw materials and changing or converting them into something new. So you see, manufacturing is the most precise answer for the word converts. And just like that, you've got your answer. The correct answer is B, manufacturing. It is the perfect definition of secondary production, which is all about that transformation of raw materials. See, it's pretty simple when you know your definitions properly. Okay, before we finish up, let's just squeeze everything we've talked about into a final cheat sheet. These are the absolute non-negotiables, the key points you must have in your head on exam day. Alright, get ready to screenshot this because these tips are pure gold. Number 1, in a theory question, always start with the definition. 2, structure your answers. Use headings like advantages. It makes it so much easier for the examiner to give you your marks. 3, please, I'm begging you, do not mix up the rewards for the factors. Profit is for the entrepreneur, interest is for capital. Get it right. And finally, here's a little trick to remember the 4 factors. Just think of the sentence, little children eat lollipops. That stands for land, capital, entrepreneur, and labor. I bet you won't forget that now. So, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge to test your understanding. Based on everything we've just covered, how would you explain the specific role of the entrepreneur in Nigeria's huge oil industry? Who is combining the land, the labor, and the capital to make it all happen? Think about it. If you found this lesson helpful, please do me a huge favor. Like this video, share it with your classmates and friends who are also preparing for WAEC, NECO, and JAM. And make sure you subscribe to our channel right now so you don't miss the next topic. Also, head over to www.examkp.com for thousands of free practice questions and answers. Let's go out there and smash these exams together.